So I came across this tweet about a year ago of this girl. I think she was going back and forth with somebody. And so she posted a receipt of a scarf that she had bought. And for the caption, she writes hashtag no fake poochie. And so somebody comes behind her and quotes the tweet and says, designer is like escapism for poor people. And that stuck with me because, one,
Rude.
but then also, she's she's not wrong. So that was like my jumping off point for a Substack piece that I wrote a few weeks ago. And I want to read it to y'all while I get dressed to go absolutely nowhere. Unfortunately, I accepted Kanye's single black female addicted to retail prophecy, and you probably did too. Since we were younger, we were taught that the clothes we wear give us special powers, that they take us places and allow us to become. We heard dress to impress as if impressions were the key. Barbie could go from astronaut to doctor with a change of a top. And somewhere along the lines, I may have passively started to think that buying my Essence cart could make me do the same. At the beginning of 2023, I was working a job that I hated, and I had a tendency to fixate on people and things to make my days feel more full. When it came to people, it was occasionally a boy, but mostly that one poly couple on TikTok that had just lost their third to the relationship. Olivia and Sean's live streams kept me together in my down season. When it came to things, it was the daily $3 brownie in the cafe at the office, the Drake and 21 Savage concert tickets that I never got because I couldn't afford them, and my Aritzia shopping cart that granted me access to at least being able to show up looking the part if I wasn't feeling it. When your world feels small, you dream of becoming, and dressing like the final form you anticipate is often the most tangible way to get there. When opportunity is scarce but imagination is abundant, fashion becomes one of the few realms where we can author our own narratives. I have an unpopular opinion that people in my field of social impact don't like to hear, especially when it comes to corporate volunteerism and engagement. I've always felt that we financial literacy workshop people, especially in underserved communities, significantly more than we need to, and the ones who do it right are far and few in between. The usual rebuttal is that the skills to handle money well are crucial to survival, and that isn't wrong, but you can't save money you don't have. We tend to lean towards the easy conclusion that people mismanage money, but hypothetically speaking, if you haven't eaten in 2 days and funds appear for food on day 3, you're bound to overindulge. I think the appetites and spending habits have that in common. In the Why Escapism is the New Marketing Currency article that Vogue put out last year, Amy Francombe breaks down the expiration of old marketing tactics that attempt to perform authenticity to its consumers and what's bubbling under the surface in advertising. She writes, so what's next? In an age of digital surveillance, economic instability, and political unrest, consumers are seeking fantasy and escapism from culture and brands. The modern world bombards us with information, reducing reality to a cycle of crisis and irony. It's driving a cultural shift, one that embraces fantasy as a means of emotional and creative renewal, and brands should tap in to win consumers in 2025. She quotes a creative strategist at the studio morning, saying, I think we're on the precipice of a more chaotic and re-energized approach to dealing with our very fractured realities, and escapism via the surreal is part of this. We can only stomach so much irony and cynicism before we start needing something to believe again. So me, as the writer of Everywhere But Here, I think escapism gives you something to believe in. In 2021, I had a lump sum of money come in after a car accident, and I did what any young woman with 4 parent plus loans, 4-figure credit card debt, and a low-paying job would do. I paid up my rent as far as my portal would allow me, paid some bills, and then I booked the birthday vacation to Los Angeles, bought some clothes that allowed me to costume myself into the woman my daydreams would recognize, and a $700 Mason Margiela Glam Slam wallet. It's only now that I realize I had become Carrie Bradshaw, poor and yearning. I'm sensible enough to realize that's definitely mismanagement, but I'm realistic and not too far removed from the feeling to remember how hard securing well-paying, steady employment was, and not knowing when I would see that amount of money again at one time. So I indulged out of scarcity. 1 year out of a global pandemic where most were forced into escapism, I needed an experience. And at the time, even more so than the trip, Mason Margiela was granting me that. An experience that would start every time I picked up that wallet. And I get the same feeling now anytime I wear my clean Estrada trousers and mesh top, or my Isabel Marant sneakers. And I'm sure you have that one piece in your closet that allows you to do the same. Since we were younger, we were taught that the clothes we wear give us special powers. Unfortunately, I accepted Kanye's single black female addicted to retail prophecy, and you probably did too.